All right, ladies and gentlemen, so nice to have you here. We are on number 117. What's your question? Still going. I went back to look at the playlist just earlier today. put them in order. I don't know if you've gone over to our playlist. I have them all in there under the What's Your Question. I'm missing a few. I'm missing number 1. I tried to find out when the first one I did, what date it was, and I don't have it anymore. So I only have What's Your Question number 2. We've come so far. If I go back and look at the production quality of those back in the day, they were complete garbage. The sound, I remember I was in San Miguel de Allende, the first place I started out in Mexico, and the internet was rather slow compared to right now. So the production quality is much better now. Kind of getting a feel for how to entertain all of you, right? Because I feel like that's what our world is built upon. We like to be entertained. So welcome out. I hope you brought some questions. If you're new here, if you've never been to this show, I want to welcome you out. We go on a lot of rants here, talk a lot about things that I would say a lot of people don't want to talk about. A lot of spicy, like Jordan would say, a lot of spicy content. And I'm sure I will get some thumbs down from pissing somebody off tonight. I'm already forecasting that because it's just the way how things go here on this channel. So I have a few announcements. Very first one, because I know some of you are asking about the music. And I have officially gone into the music space. That song, which I wrote, was created by AI. And I'm getting better at it. So if you're looking for that, let me just get my cursor out. If you want to subscribe, I have this channel here. It's called Neon Soap Opera. That's the name of the band, I guess you would be able to call it. And I have 5 songs right now that are out on here. That was called Journey Away. And the other one that I really like is this Just a Little Longer. It's all different. You know, some of it is like synthwave. Some of it is more like ambient house music. This one is more melodic progressive house. This one's, I don't even know what to call this one. This one's called Close to You or Close to Me. This one's really a cool, funky kind of song. So we've officially gone into the music business, and this is the second channel that I created. I actually created this band called Madruger, and it is my rock obsession. My roots are in the metal rock scene. I was born into the rock scene, really kind of took a liking to it at a young age, and this is my favorite kind of music. And so we've got 4 songs here. I've written all of them. So I've always written poetry. I'll leave these links here in the chat for all of you. I've always written poetry ever since I can remember. So there's the Madruger. I'll just pin this one, and then we'll do the Neon Soap Opera. And so I've written music for this band that I used to. I'm not going to say manage because I was just a young guy, but I would go to the band room in Worcester, Massachusetts, like central Massachusetts, and there was a place that you could rent out space and take your band there and play as loud as you want. And so I was part of that whole group, and I wrote a song, my very first song, which I'm trying to get the lyrics for. It's called Dark Cell, right? This is how I know that I am not in control of my life. Just this song alone. So I hope I can get the lyrics of it, because my buddy, who still lives in Massachusetts, he actually made a song to it. He wrote the symphony to it, if you will, but it's called Dark Cell. So so there you have it, man. We're officially in the music business. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and it's complicated because if you don't know how to write, then you rely on AI to write it for you. Then it's not really your own. And then if you don't know the keywords and how to tell these AI music foundations on what to do, then it can just usually spit out what you'll hear, which is getting saturated on YouTube, on Spotify, not on Spotify. Yeah, maybe on Spotify as well. So it's tricky. but I think that it's a lot of fun. And I had said on many podcasts before this one, many What's Your Questions, I think the wave of the future is people creating AI music, and then now I'm looking for a band to actually play it live. And you can change it, like you could dial it in better. You can change the bridge on there if you want to. You can change the guitar solo a little bit on there. But I personally think that's the next stage of evolution for music, beyond what's already been happening. Okay. What is madruga? Madruga is a Spanish word, and it's kind of a paradox for me because it means getting up early, like it's like the crack of dawn, which I don't do. So it was just a very easy fit for me, and then I just like the name. I just think the name is really cool, the title of it. So it's a Spanish word. And I didn't even pronounce it right. That's just how I pronounce it, because I can't get the Spanish twang. But madruga is kind of the English, the Spanglish, if you will. So there's that. If you're a rocker, I know you'll like the madruga. The two singers, the male singer's name is Jasper. I have all the band members named. I have them created. And there's a female singer. Her name's Brittany. And she, so far, has, out of the 4 songs, she has 2 of them. And I really like her voice. I want to hope I can keep it, but I don't know if that's going to be possible. We shall see. So it's going to fluctuate. And kind of the whole idea behind the band is curated. What is about the band? It's curated imperfect music. Curated imperfect music. Right? That's really what we're trying to create. Not trying to say it's going to be perfect. So we're making it around that. Yeah. All right. So the other big announcement I want to make, and I'm going to make this twice because I want to get the viewers up a little higher, is we have officially created the Idea Room. Now, if you don't know what that is, well, I've had so many ideas over the course of my life, and I don't have enough time. I'm never going to do all of them. There's no possible way. And I know a lot of you would agree that you're in the same position. You feel like you have a lot of great ideas, but you're never going to act upon them because life gets in the way. And so this is another way of me giving back, being the humanitarian having the humanitarian, blood, if you will. Like I like to give a lot of things away. This is part of that. So the Idea Room was created. It literally was created based upon the idea of, hey, let's crowdfund a trip to Antarctica and let's film the 24-hour sun, which I'm not going to go do. But I know it's $1 million idea. Someone can make millions of dollars off of it. And it can be done. They've already done it. But no one's ever done a crowdfunding one and done a lottery to pick the people to go and doing the lottery live. So some of the components of that idea I've incorporated into the Idea Room itself. So I want to show all of you that really quick so you can see what I'm talking about. And it's literally implanted in my other YouTube channel called Cosmic Sugar. And I really haven't paid a lot of attention to this channel. I only have like 3 videos here. Because this Decode Your Reality channel has been really the forefront of my attention. But this is what's going to host kind of the Idea Room. And the tagline is moving toward your creation. So we put it on the Spotlight website. Those of you that are on the Patreon, you already got a notification that we released it several days ago. So I hope this takes off. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I have no attachments, expectations for it, but this is the format and how it's going to go, okay? The next Idea Room, which will be hosted here, live, like we're doing here, is going to be selecting 10 people. I don't know if we're going to get 10. Maybe we're not going to get 10. I hope we're going to get more than 10 people to submit their ideas. So the idea is you pitch it, and then you as the crowd comes in. See, I was a huge fan of American Idol. And I love the idea of like, hey, you want to vote for who you think should go on to the next round? And people get involved with that. So being a DJ of life, I cherry pick that, right? I like that idea. So whoever has a great idea, you could pitch your idea. You don't have to show yourself on camera. You can just use your voice. We're going to do it through Zoom. And then the crowd, all of you, once we get the 10 ideas up on the board, you guys and gals are going to vote on it. On which idea you think has the most flavor to it. Which one could change the world? Which one is the best idea? And this whole idea room is based upon people collaborating. So the step number one is 10 people are selected through like a lottery, and it will be on April 12th. 2 weeks from now, on a Sunday, live, I'm going to select 10 people. I'm going to use my flashcards as numbers, and everybody that submits their idea is going to get a number. Just generate a number for them. So if you get selected to pitch your idea live, you got 5 minutes. So your presentation, you don't have to have one, right? But the winning ideas are going to move forward into, the idea behind this is, pun intended, is hopefully they'll move into development and then funding. Maybe the idea is to get crowdfunding into this maybe, if we have to. See, I know a lot of you out there are the movers and shakers. So you would back an idea that is a really good idea. So this is who builds it. Well, you have the person who originates it. Then you have the builders who create it. You have the operators who run it. And you have the backers who fund it. So there's a team that gets involved here, and this creates jobs. This creates something out of nothing. And not everybody needs to do everything. And we're also going to have, like, if you're going to show up and you're going to pitch your idea, people are going to know what your birthday is, what your playing card is, so you know what you're dealing with, right? What you're dealing with is this person, beyond, because nobody's going to know who you are. So this is what makes all this different. You don't need to have it all figured out. If you've got a great idea and you think it's the next $1 million idea, you think it's going to change the world, you can find people to execute them for you. Okay? So that's what this is all about. So the next live location where we actually pitch the ideas will be April 19th. Okay? I've already got all these set up. If you click on this right here, you'll go right to it. I don't know why it's going there. It should go to my videos, my lives. So I already have 3 of them set up. We have the live selection lottery. We have the idea room itself where you get to pitch your ideas. And then we have the final one scheduled on April 26th where we actually produce the results of the winning idea based upon the crowd. You people get to pick it. Again, I don't know if it's going to go anywhere. I have no idea if it's going to go anywhere, but let's see. So if you have an idea, you can submit it right here. You can be named anonymous if you want to. It doesn't matter. You just need to put your name. You can put a fake name here too if you want to become anonymous. You need an email though, working email. You need to have a working email because you're going to get responded to by me directly with a number so you can participate in the lottery. And then you have to have a basic idea and an industry that it would involve. You don't have to give your idea away to me. And I'm not here to steal your idea. I got too much stuff going on. So trust me, your idea is safe with me. It ain't going to go past me. So I have 2 examples here of what it would look like. So you can get an idea of what your text should be in here. And then you just click send, it goes right to my email. And when you submit this, give me 24 to 48 hours, I'm going to email you back with a number. It's for the first 50 people. I don't know if we're even going to get 50 people. I have no idea. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do the live right here. The lottery, this lottery right here. If you submit a number, I'm going to go live on April 12th, and I'm going to pull the numbers, and the people that have the winning numbers, though, you get to show up and you get to pitch your idea for this one, the idea room right here, number 1, the very first one. I've already got them all set up. Took me all day to set all this up, and then this will be the winning idea. And I hope that we can get some collaborators going on. This is what generates humanitarianism and money. Again, there's a lot of you that are movers and shakers, right? A lot of you may not have the idea, but you know the people that can produce, direct. I know this person that has the talent to do what you're looking for, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm really stoked about it again, but I don't have any expectations on whether or not it's going to, if it goes somewhere, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Maybe it's not ready to go on to the world yet. Maybe it'll take 6 months. I don't know. But let's see. Let's see if it goes out there. And this is my way of giving back. And, maybe even this idea of the idea room, I can hand off to somebody. I got so much stuff going on. Like maybe you're going to be the person to take over the idea room itself and all the things that go with it, and you'll oversee the idea room. I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that. So this is another way of giving back. So if you have an idea, you go to the Spotlight website. You can click on the toolbar at the top, and it says idea room. You just go down to the bottom and submit your idea, and I'll send you an email back. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull. I have these 100 flashcards. I'm just going to reach in here. In 2 weeks from now, I'm just going to reach in here and start pulling numbers out. And if I pull your number, you get selected. You're going to be one of the 10. I'm only doing 10 people. You get to be the one of the 10 that gets to submit your idea, and you'll do it through this, just like this, something like this, where you don't have to show your face. If you have a presentation like slides on your idea, then you can share your screen. Now, I know some of you may be asking, I know, but what if someone steals my idea? Well, that's the risk you'll have to take. I'm trying to create a space where we can be authentic. Where like, I don't want to lock my doors anymore. I'm trying to create that space. There has to be some kind of trust, some authenticity. And maybe there will be people that will follow this and it will grow to something grandiose and we can start changing the world. Not just through, doing these podcasts and breakdown and presentations and decodes, but actually changing the world through ideas and making your ideas happen. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I know you have great ideas and they're going to go to the grave with you. So why save them? Like I said, this idea came from the idea of doing the 24-hour sun, finding 10 people, doing a lottery with the name so there's no biasy, and then and it's 2027, December of 2027, you charter a trip down to Antarctica, 10 people, 10 strangers, some are flat earth, some are globe, and you go down there and you film the 24-hour sun. Everybody gets to see it, you witness it, and there's a pay-per-view thing, maybe $10 per person. You'll sell easily over 100,000 tickets. That's over $1 million. I already know that's a thing. I already know that would happen. And that's an idea that can generate millions of dollars just like that out of nothing. Out of nothing. So then you can sell the whole thing. Some channel will pick it up. I'm sure of it if the production's done right. Well, some of you have great ideas like that. Better than that. But you don't have the resources to make it happen. Now, I'm a small channel, 50,000 people. We're small, but the intention is set. And maybe people will start catching on and they'll hear about this and they're going to want to join in and be a part of it. Maybe that'll happen. Some of it will be for charity, 501. Some of it will be nonprofit. Some of it will be for profit. And there's no right or wrong answer on which way to go. So that was the whole idea behind the idea room. All right. Yeah, Jay says maybe the Idea Room TV show would be a great contestant for crowdfunding. Like I said, ladies, I've gone on Kickstarter and I've seen what people raise money for, and it blows my mind of what people raise money on, and they get it. So think of this concept, right? We start this organization called the Idea Room, where, hey, you got a good idea? Pitch it. What do you got to lose? You're not going to do it anyway. You don't have the money to do it. We're not going. You might as well pitch it. Here, at this channel, this Idea Room, it's authenticity. We're not here to rip you off. We're not thieves. We're givers. Do we want something in return? If that's possible, that'd be great if we can be a part of it. I mean, wouldn't you like to see your $1 million idea actually take off and have something go with it? And you get to sit and say, that was my idea. This is think Shark Tank, but you're not asking for millions of dollars, or you're not asking for some investor to pay. Maybe some investors will pick up on that. I don't know. I have no expectations. I have no idea what's going to happen with it. But that's the big thing right now for me. It was the Idea Room, the music that we've created, and just continuing to pump out content and decodes and all that stuff. It's just my way of giving back. All right. My flip says, let's imagine it and it will happen. Again, listen, if it happens, awesome. Like I can see it already. I have a great imagination. I can see what it would look like if it happened. So if it happens, I can already see it. It's a juggernaut. This is a juggernaut idea. This Idea Room, to me, maybe you don't see it, but to me, it's a juggernaut idea. Because again, I'm basing it on, you got great ideas, you're never going to do anything with them. Why not collaborate with some people and make something happen? People are afraid to tell people about their ideas. Someone may take it on me and they're going to make all the money and I'm not going to make anything. That's the chance. If you don't do anything with it, it's not going to do anything. So would you rather roll the dice to see what happens? I would, personally. That's what this whole thing is. That's what we're going to market it on, is let's roll the dice and see where this goes, because you're not going to roll them. A lot of you aren't even going to roll the dice because you're too afraid of holding on to your idea, because you're saving it when you have enough money to do this and that, but you're never going to do it. And I don't know if you're ever going to do it. But if you're an idea person like me, this is a dream come true. Because you have these ideas and you want to see them manifest, but you don't have the resources to manifest them. You don't even talk about your idea really, because you're too afraid someone's going to steal it. This is the whole thing, is all this trademark and copyright crap. Like, why do we have to do this stuff? I got to TM this and copyright that, and I have to submit this, and like, where's our how are we going to change as a society unless we change out of what people are so invested in, which is, I got to protect and I have to make sure nobody steals, and I get all that. But when is somebody going to actually make the move to move away from that kind of mindset? This is what the Idea Room is based on. All right. Yeah, it is, Bobby, you're right. It is philanthropy. Absolutely. This is a way of being a philanthropist. So for sure. Let's get into your comments here. Jay's asking, what if someone has see, this is the questions that we need to ask, because I don't have it all figured out. The question is, what if someone has an idea, but they still want to be the sole owner? Would they keep all the rights after the crowdfunding? You'd have to draft the paperwork up for that. And I'm glad you asked that, because now I have to go and I've had AI help me out on it. right? Because this is not like a strength of mine, but there would have to be some kind of disclosure that you would authorize to make that happen. This is probably a small little non-disclosure, not a non-disclosure, but I don't even know the legal jargon. So again, this is where, I am not I'm not the brain behind knowing all the answers. I know there's some things, there are holes in some of this stuff. Like there's legal stuff I know that I haven't, and I don't, to be honest, it's like, I don't want to do all that. It's not my forte. This is the idea behind the idea room, but I know it has to get tightened up and sharpened for sure. I already know it. Do I interpret dreams for you or for me? For you, I've never done one. Because the thing is if you tell me what your dream was, and I don't know anything about you, how can I interpret that? So it would be really tough, I think. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Sunday, March 29th. Ace says, the lady that started reading my electric meter recently is named Robin Moore. Robbing Moore, true story. It's all true stories. Tammy says Daniel did in the Bible. Well, those were specific words that were written on the walls. So that's a different story. But if you're talking about abstract dreams, like, hey, I was in the park and this happened, and it could have a million different meanings. But if you had writing or you had words like it did in the book of Daniel, when he was decoding the dream of Nebuchadnezzar, that's a different story. Thanks, Debbie. Connie says, I have an idea about a golf ball. Okay. Celia says, I'm creating a creative ecosystem. Awesome. Use an ASU for my legal structuring. That's great. I think you could do that free with AI, or $20 a month with AI. One more quarter says, unfortunately, nothing ever seems to change or move forward. Just government debt slaves lumbering through life. Well, see, this is where I would kind of split the road here. I would say that this is the change. What you're speaking about is already done. Elizabeth Ekman asks, can you submit more than one idea per lottery? No. One idea per person. So bring your best idea. What's up, Christine, from the great state of Washington? How are you? Great to have you here. Hope you're feeling great. Going through your comments. Kyrie says, I've had lucid dreams since I was a kid. Have you done a video on that before? I have not. I haven't done I have lucid dreaming. If you go watch my Life is But a Dream, I don't know if I don't think I included it in there, but I feel like this is a dream. There's a lot of big humdingers in that presentation. Life is but a dream. JVM Logan, that's my son's name. That's awesome. Yeah, give Pamela changed her handle name. I can't even read some of these avatar names, man. Like, I can't even read them. Pam Swan Astralar 5. What is that, Pam? Why can't you just be Pam 5? That's just so much easier. I'm just kidding. We just released on Patreon, we just released Lady of Guadalupe. Big time reveals there. I have some mathematics, ladies and gentlemen, that I've been working on that is absolutely mind-blowing, beyond mind-blowing. And to me, it just proves that we live inside of this mathematical construct that pumps out script, and we just live through the script. I'll tell you this. I'll tell you what I found. I'm just going to tell you. Maybe you can remember. And I don't know where I'm going to put this video up. But here's what I found. I was looking at the Fallen Ones, that story, the 200. I don't know if you know this or not, but Azazel is the one that got all of the bad rap. He's not even the leader. It was Sam Yazel, whatever, however you pronounce it. So many different pronunciations for the leader. But Azazel is the one that got all the bad rap because that is the one that taught all of the magic and how to put makeup on and warcraft and all that kind of stuff. And he's mentioned as a scapegoat in the book, I think it's Leviticus. I think it's chapter 16, verses 8, but I can't remember. Maybe I'm not quoting that right. Well, I started to dig with that. And you know what I found? Because I'm going to look at the numbers. The numerology of Azazel is exactly the same numerology as serpent. Same numerology as serpent. It's the same numerology as the firstborn Cain. So we've already synchronized Prometheus being tied to the trickster who stole the fire and gave it to the humans, and we've already connected to that to the serpent in Genesis. So you have the Greek mythology and their story of Prometheus, the one taking and giving to humans, who in that story, he's the one who actually molded mankind and had the task of making men and women. But then you get the religion and they're saying that's mythology, but ours is real. Yeah, whatever, dude. Go smoke another one. Yours is real, but the Greek mythology is not. It's myth. What are you smoking? It's the same story. You just told it in your way, and you're telling me this really happened. There was really a talking snake. Yeah, okay, what are you smoking, dude? There's no snakes that talk. And there's no talking donkeys. What are you smoking? What pipe are you passing around? And when you tell me that their culture is myth and yours is real, you're smoking it 10 times as much as anybody else. You make yourself look like the biggest ass in the world by telling me, yeah, mine's the real deal, but theirs, no, theirs is it's a fake story. Dude, yours is in the same context. Stop trying to be a narcissist. Thinking it's yours, that's my way. No, it's a Ponzi scheme. Mythology, it shouldn't even be called mythology. It's the Greek culture. They got the gods, the Olympians, and the Titans. That's what they got. And Judaism is not even a monotheistic religion. Judaism is not a monotheistic religion. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, it is not a monotheistic religion. No, they picked. Because in Deuteronomy, it specifically says that the Yod had his inheritance, which was the land of Israel, Jacob. That's why he said, you ain't going to worship any other gods but me. I got you guys. I got assigned to you guys and gals. It's not a monotheistic. So I just laugh at this stuff now because then they poke fun at like Hinduism and you guys get all your gods and your deities. Oh, but ours, oh no, we got the right one. No, dude, yours is not monotheistic. Stop trying to bamboozle people with your words. Scripted or not, man, I see right through that BS. I would imagine you guys and gals do as well. And these stories are just regurgitated stories. It's like plagiarism. Because the oldest story that we know of is through the Sumerians and the land of Ur and Anu, the sky god. Those are thousands of years older than the Bible, the Torah. I'm not belittling those books. I think the Hebrew language is fascinating. I think the letters are fascinating, and I think the entire book is fascinating. I'm fixated on it. I love it. I also fancy the Book of Enoch. I fancy the Greek stuff. Everything, because I have my Rahu's in Sagittarius, of course. So my mind is tickled pink by all of these ancient texts and whatnot. But to say that Greek is myth and Judaism really happened is just a bunch of nonsense malarkey. So how I got here is we have successfully, through the numbers and using logic and discernment, we have successfully looked at Azazel from the book of Enoch and from the Torah, because he's in, I think it's Leviticus, who is the scapegoat. Imagine that. Azazel gets talked about in the Torah, and he's called the scapegoat. What do you think the serpent is? The scapegoat. The one that got pinned on, the one that had to take the rap. So the numbers and the code and the forensics say that Azazel is the serpent in the garden. And the serpent in the garden is Prometheus in the Greek. The serpent obviously is Prometheus because the serpent gives the knowledge, and so does Prometheus. That's what stealing the fire and giving it to the humans is. I don't want the gods to keep it for themselves. I want the humans to have it. So we're going to hand it over. Same set of circumstances, same story, different cultures, and repackaging it in different ways. So when the numerology of Azazel is the same as serpent, and we know already the serpent is Prometheus, these cultures now, the line gets completely obliterated. There's no walls anymore separating them. It's not blurry anymore. We now have the eyes to see that it's all a Ponzi scheme. It's a beautiful, perfect Ponzi scheme. And the very reason is if there was only one story, people would get bored. Right? That's what people like, variety. That's why do you realize there's over 10,000 religions? What happened to the first one? People got bored. Imagine if you had to wear the same pair of jeans every day. Imagine if you had to eat the same foods for the next 2 years. Every day. I mean, my favorite food's pizza, but I couldn't eat it every day. Get tired of it. You get tired of the texture. You would get tired of the taste. You could try to spice it up and maybe I'll make it this way, maybe I'll make it that way. You'd really kind of get tired of it. Oh, somebody just got wiped out. What happened here? Someone just got all their messages wiped out. Oh, someone was being naughty. Christine says, I have a friend who has a fantastic idea. Great. Listen, you have until, we have 2 weeks. So I actually have to go on the website and I have to put a deadline because I didn't put the deadline on there. And it's first come, first serve. So once we have 50 entries, that's it. If you're entry number 51, you're going to get the overflow. You're going to go into the next pile. So the idea, I don't want, this is not just like a one-time thing. No, this is the idea room number 1. Then we're going to have number 2. Just like we have scripted reality, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like here, we're number 117. So I hope that this goes for a long time and we can start changing lives. That's kind of the idea. Yeah, there's a talking donkey on Shrek. Yeah, right. Interceptor 1010, what do you think of the guy who predicts a catastrophic event on 6/11 in Washington? He also does Trump Elvis connection. He has failed on, I've already, listen, I'm not going to bash the guy. Don't know who he is. He's doing his job. Somebody sent me his information. I went to his channel. He's been doing this for 3 or 4 years, talking about the same predictions that haven't come to fruition. So you know how I feel about predictions. The 611 is a very fascinating number because it's the golden ratio. It's tied to the element tin, which has the most stable isotopes, 10 of them, which is tied to Zeus. So I'm really focused on that 116 or 161. Matter of fact, I went gangbusters with the mathematics on those 3 numbers. The gangbusters. I have a whole presentation on the mathematics and how a mathematical construct is built around those numbers. Because the golden ratio fits inside the pie, the wheel of pi. But predicting things and then your predictions fail, it doesn't mean that your predictions may fail for the rest of your life. Maybe it'll end up happening. But from what I saw, there's already failed predictions. Just keeps pumping it out. And that's all I got to say about that. I mean, I that's what I know about it. Like I said, man, you know, everybody's doing their job, responsibility. We don't have to agree. Not, you know, listen, do you realize we have on this channel, our community is about almost going to hit 50,000, right? If I go and look at the numbers, my numbers are super low, or I should say our numbers. The average, really, it shows 50,000, right? People closing in on that, but maybe 7% of people are returning. On a good day, maybe 10%. So it becomes even smaller. So it said, yeah, 50,000. Oh, yeah. No. That's an illusion. Like if you go look at these What's Your Questions, it may get 5,000 views, and some of the views are twice by people. People watch them 2-3 times. So the percentages here on this channel are very small. I'm reaching a very, very small amount of people. I'm not in it for the numbers. This information it's niche information. It's not popular. And that's just the way it is. Randy152, any presentation on meditation? Not on the word directly. I don't. I have talked about it in, if I can remember, I mean, we've done almost, can you believe I think I have over 1,000 videos. It's crazy. On this channel, over 1,000. So trying to remember everything, sometimes I go back in these videos and I'm like, oh wow, I forgot I had that. That's pretty good material. So. Sifu Stoner asks, can you still have accuracy when they added 1,000 years to the timeline? What do you mean by that? Accuracy to what? And on top of that, you'd have to support, I would just go back to, I don't know what you are tying that to, but you'd have to prove that they added 1,000 years to the timeline. You'd have to define the timeline that got veered off from. You'd have to show the area where they moved into and added on to that with documentation. Otherwise, it's an idea. Doesn't mean it's wrong, but there's no validification for it past the idea. And on top of that, ladies and gentlemen, that's the challenge we have with history, is a lot of it, I shouldn't say a lot of it, some history has been fabricated. So fiction, and we live in a world of fiction and nonfiction. And the lines are blurred between the two. So you may have a year where the plan was to document a whole bunch of books. People are going to write about this topic, this idea. So it can make its moment in time. So people in 100 years from now are going to review the books and say, see the evidence? It really happened because there's 50 books on it. That doesn't mean it happened. I mean, right now, on my channel, and I know a lot of other YouTubers, you'll get people, they'll come on, and I don't know if they're bots, real people. They're real people. They get paid, and they'll say, oh my God, I found this book. It changed my life. And you'll just see, and it has the most likes. And then a whole bunch of people will do it. That's the same kind of idea of what they've done in the past with books and authors. Is that they took this idea, they wrote about it through several different authors, and that instantly made it real, self-fulfilling prophecy. And now in time, you have a history event that didn't even happen, but you swear up and down it did, and here's the proof for it, right? Which I've decoded. So again, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, it doesn't matter. It's in the fabric of time. But I know what you're after. You're at, like, I want to know if it really happened. Rainbow Warrior says a large percentage of the population are NPCs. Everybody's an NPC. You and me are non-player characters. I know you don't want to accept that. I'm not belittling you, but that's what the forensic shows. The non-player character aspect is you're just an actress or actor in the movie. Someone press play and you're playing out your part. That's a non-player character. A player character would have the ability to freely choose on whatever it wants to do all the time. And that's not what the forensic shows. Even the neuroscience backs it up. It's called readiness potential. Readiness, go look it up. Readiness potential is where they've done studies on the brain, and the brain makes decisions milliseconds, sometimes seconds before you actually make the decision. It's not you making the decision. You think that all of this discoveries that I have presented on this channel are from me? No, none of it's from me. The idea room isn't from me. It's an idea that came into my mind. I'm generating the idea. Sure, they're being given to me, and my brain is the receiving station, for sure. But they're not originating from me. So then the question be, where are they coming from? Who the hell knows? Do you want to get science fiction-y on it? That's where people come up with great science fiction stories from. So it's not to belittle anybody. And clearly a lot of you, like, no, I'm not an NPC, because you think it's degrading. See, if you remove the degradation, just remove that it's negative. If you remove the negativity out of a non-player and you realize what it really is, there's no negative about it. There's no pessimism about it. It's the divine, the spirit of the divine, if you want to call it that, the spirit of God, if you want to call it that, the spirit of Dio, whatever it is you want to call it, working through you. The voice in your head, that owns you. I know some of you say, I know, but sometimes I don't listen to it. Sometimes I just go and I do this, but the idea of not listening to it is the idea of where it came from. Because I know a lot of you say, I don't listen to my intuition. What do you listen to? You listen to the voice in your head. So what is it? That's the final say is right here. A lot of you say, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. A lot of you ask people for what they think you should do. Like, what do you think I should do? See, to me, that's the worst thing you could do, scripted or not. I'm coming from a place of where I'm removing the scripted reality part and just saying, this is my script playing out. So when I say everybody should do Spotlight, or you're an NPC, or whatever, it's just me saying that, me stating it as the receiver. And it doesn't have to be true for you. Arizona Lane's asking, any thoughts on why it can be so hard to drink water? You know, I've had a lot of people over the years ask me this question. I don't like the taste of water. Water doesn't have any taste. And the answer will be all over the place. I mean, aging is designed to move you towards death. That's the whole design of this thing. And in this reality, if everything never died, it wouldn't work. This reality, it survives off of death. There are organisms that feed off of the death. If you remove the death, you literally change the ecosystem completely. I mean, there are carrions, there are scavengers that rely, that's what they eat to survive, death. So I'm telling you that because you had said, well, seems to get worse with age. Well, then make a change about it. What's amazing about your question is that you're aware that you're not drinking enough water. There are people out there that are not, they're not even aware that they're not aware. You're aware. And whenever you're aware of something, the question here is that that's exactly what you should focus on. Since you asked the question. Like if somebody asked me, hey, should I move? Well, you definitely should consider it. You should definitely be looking in areas of, like if you could move, where would you go? Start looking online. Start planning it a little bit. Start window shopping on moving. So the same thing goes for you. If you feel that it's tougher to drink water as you get older, then that's exactly what your focus should be on. Your focus should be on water because a lot of you are chronically dehydrated. Dehydration is the number one cause of daytime fatigue. I don't know if you knew that, but the number one cause of daytime fatigue is dehydration. This body is made of water. If you don't drink enough water, it becomes a desert. And what happens in a desert? No life grows there. So everything gets screwed up in a sense. It's chain reactive and you'll age even faster. So, I mean, as you move towards death, you start reducing weight, things start breaking down. The body doesn't need as much. So there's a thing with that. People lose size, they shrink down. That's because you're preparing for death. Right? But maybe you're just not in the habit of drinking enough water. If you're being honest with yourself. I have always, as long as I can remember, and bodybuilding was a key component, a piece of it, I've always drank a lot of water. Because when I was in my bodybuilding days, that was something that you just would do. I'd be the guy in the gym carrying the gallon of water. That's the lifestyle. Because the more water you drink, obviously the bigger you get. More blood requires more water. But if you're not demanding that on your body, a lot of you here, I don't care about that kind of stuff. Bodybuilding doesn't matter. I get that, right? So it's a niche. But the question for you is that, hey, I don't drink enough water. I can see it. You said, why is it so hard to drink? That means you don't drink enough water. So the focus should be on, my goal is to drink more water. And that should take precedence over your food. And why would you do that? Well, because I know that if you drink 3 of these a day, 3 liters of water, you're going to be hydrated. You're not as likely to get daytime fatigue. Your skin will be more hydrated. Everything will work better. You won't be a desert. And your decay process will slow down. So don't look to what people in their 60s and 70s are doing for your answer. Like, well, that's what they do. That's what you said. It seems to get worse with age. It seems to, but not for everybody. So to make the change on that, start drinking more water. You shouldn't be thirsty. It's different if you're in a hot environment or you ran a marathon or you just went to the gym and you ran on the treadmill for 20 minutes. That's different. But anytime, if you start to get thirsty, right, your body's demanding that you drink more water. You shouldn't even get to that position. Jacqueline says, my friend does that. Chia seeds to the water. Yeah, that's great. Those are awesome. I put those in my smoothies. They get stuck in my teeth, though. It's the only annoying part about chia seeds, but I love them. I mean, what you could do with water is you may not be absorbing it as well. See, the water, to get into the cells, it needs a carrier. So that's why taking salt, the best salt, in my opinion, is sea salt, like a Celtic salt, because that goes back into water. Like, for instance, if you get like the pink Himalayan salt, if you put it in water, you'll notice that it doesn't all dissolve. But if you get sea salt, like Celtic sea salt, and you put it in water, it dissolves. Because it's from water, it goes back into water. So if you take a little bit of that and put it on your hand and lick it off before you drink your water, what that will do is it will be the carrier for the water to get into the cells. Potassium, magnesium, that's what's in the minerals. That's why the periodic table, when decoding our reality, is so freaking valuable. It all comes down to the biology of our reality and everything going into the biology. So to finish on the water thing, maybe you eat too much food, and that's why you're not drinking enough water. Cut back on your food. Water is more important than the food. Because if you had to pick one, if we're going to go on a trip, and there's one thing that you can bring with you, food or water, and we're going to be going for a couple weeks, and you can only pick one, which one would you pick? I guarantee it'll be agua. I guarantee it'll be H2O. Because you can't go a week without water. I mean, there may be exceptions to that. There may be people that could live days and days without water. You could loop it, drink your urine, which is absolutely disgusting, if you ask me. But that's essential to live, is loop. I would say, though, that you're eating too much food. See, because when you eat food and you get full, then you don't want to drink the water. Right? It's like, I'm full. But if you get full on water, you're not going to eat the food. And if you look at it from a perspective of the body being a machine, right? And I've given this example before. Like, your car that you drive, it depreciates every time you put it in drive. Anytime you turn the key and the motor starts, you depreciate the car. The miles that move on the odometer, you don't want a lot of those on there when you want to resell it. You want to have low mileage. That's when you buy a used car. How many miles are on it? You're looking for the car that has the least amount of miles. It's going to bring the biggest price tag. So the same concept goes with the body. How many miles do you have on this thing? Well, it's determined by a lot of things. One of them is how much food you put into your body, because every time you eat, it's like turning the car on with the key and starting the engine. Because when you eat your food, all of these organs that are involved in the digestion have to start working. And that puts wear and tear on the body, right? Every time you drive your car, there could be a chance something breaks. Because it heats up. And heat causes friction, and friction causes loss. And that's when something busts or can break. Well, the body is designed like a perfect engine, right? It runs at a certain temperature. It regulates through sweating. A car regulates through the radiator. So it's a very similar kind of situation. And the same goes for decay and depreciation. Every time you eat, the digestion has to move, and that makes the body decay more. That's why there's value in fasting. There's value in fat, and on top of that, parasites. You increase your risk of parasites when you consume things. Yes, there can be stuff inside your water, but for the most part, this water is safer if it's clean water than, you get your food and you got to clean it off. What do you clean it with? You clean it with water. It's always the water, the agua, the H2O. And just to give you an idea of how dialed in our reality is, just to give you an idea, I'm going to show you, take you on a little journey. Let me show you how this works. We're going to take Adam, the first man in Judaism, right? Adam. And we're going to pump it into the cipher here. So let's remove these. We're going to go to Hebrew. And there's Adam. Aleph, Daleth, Mem. ADM. 18. Well, what's amazing, and we go to chemistry for this, right? What is H2O? What is H2O made of? 2 hydrogens and an oxygen. So we're going to go to chemistry. Hydrogen, there's 2 of them. So what's 1 plus 1? 2. Now we just need the oxygen. What is oxygen? 16. What's 2 plus 16? 18. What are we made up of? Water. The entire periodic table describes the stories in the Bible and our lives. Hydrogen comes from hydrogenes. This word means water genes. This is the element that the sun is primarily made up of. 74% of the sun is made up of hydrogen and then helium, the other 23 or 24%. Hydrogen is called water genes. Hydro is water because the sun creates water. When you burn hydrogen, it makes precipitation. It makes water. And it makes oxygen through the aspect of H2O. This is oxygenes, oxidizing genes, decaying genes, because it's acid forming. Acid, right? That's what takes you down, is the decay of the body through whatever means necessary to take you down. And we know that this is accurate because this is element number 1 and oxygen is element number 8. And all I have to do is go to Genesis chapter 1 verses 8 to match hydrogen and oxygen. And what does it say? Genesis 1:8, evening and morning is Genesis 1 verses 8. Day number 2, right? Then we go to Revelation, same exact chapter and verse. Oops. And what does it say? I am the Alpha and Omega, beginning and end. So you have hydrogen and oxygen here, and it's Alpha and Omega, beginning and end. And you go to Genesis, and you have the evening and morning. So what is the evening and morning? The Alpha and Omega. What is the evening and morning? The beginning and end. That's what the evening and morning is. It goes around and around in a circle, and it's based on chemistry. It's based on oxygen. There's the circle, and hydrogen. The Alpha and the Omega, 1 and 8. And that's Adam. That's the numerology of Adam, the first man. You see? It's really kind of it's special in its own way. But that is how dialed in and scripted our reality is. Once you have the eyes to see it, and now you do. Hydrogen produces water, and water is what we're made of. We are the sun becoming. That is the proof that you need, that we are the light slowed down into physical matter. And if you do the numerology of light and darkness, it's going to give you a total of 67, which is going to be tied to creation itself. We are light slowed down into physical matter. And hydrogen burns and it produces water. Us. When the sun burns, it produces water. It's in the water cycle. The sun evaporates and produces, it gives over to the moon, and that condenses, and then the moon, we know, runs the tides and water and the clouds, and then it rains, and you have precipitation. The water cycle is what gives life to this world. You're not going to find the water cycle in a desert. It rarely comes about in the desert. That's why things die in a desert. So if you're dehydrated and you don't drink enough water, you're killing yourself even quicker. You're setting yourself up for disaster. So if it was me, I would stop eating food as much and drink, and my focus would be on, I'm going to drink more water, because water gives you life. Food will take it away. Because again, you turn on the digestion, things have to move. You know, every time you eat fats, the bile has to kick in. It's got to squirt a little bile. The gallbladder has to kick in. If that thing, it's a pump, man. I mean, what if it gives out? That's what happens with people. Because I eat food, fat, eat. Well, there's no fat in water. If you get good, pure, clean water, this will give you life. Food, on the other hand, it can be medicine for sure. But the majority of people in the world don't treat it as such. They eat foods for the pleasure of it. If you're a foodie, like I'm a foodie, right? But not like I used to be. But the water should be the priority over the food. That would be the one, and this is not medical advice, but that would be my one big suggestion to all of you, is you should be drinking 3 liters of water every single day. And if you can't get there, stop eating the food. Stop getting full on food and then like, oh shit, I didn't drink my water. If you forget, then you're not focused on the water. The best habit you can get into is the very first thing you do when you wake up is drink a liter of water before you do anything else. And I know some of you will be like, wow, that's a lot of water. That's because you're not used to it. If you do that every single day for 90 days, it will not seem like it's a lot of water. You'll be like, oh, this is easy now. Third Eye Wizard, what are your tattoos? Well, I got this set of eyes over here. The very first, I don't know if you can see that. Let me see if I can shuffle over here. Oops. The very first tattoo I got, see those eyes right there? I don't know why I got them. I was in Illinois. I was in the military. I was in school right outside of Chicago in a town called Rantoul. It's by Danville. And I wanted to get a tattoo. So I went to this tattoo parlor and I saw these eyes on the wall and I'm like, I want those. So that's what I got. And then the second one I got this bird. It's covered up. I have phoenixes and then I have a samurai on my arms. I have phoenixes and fire. And then I have this big samurai right here fighting this dragon. I literally have, this story is the phoenix rising up. And I got these long before I ever met Jason from Archaics. These tattoos are some of these are super old. Long before I started studying the esoteric. Long before. So I had this image. Let me see if I can pull it up for all of you so you could see. I don't know if I have it. I made a really cool, the actual, this is it right here. That's not the one I wanted, but, whoops. Okay, it's not letting me. Shit, my computer's freezing up on me or what? I think my computer's freezing up on me. All right, well, I don't know why I can't show it to you, but it's not letting me do it. But I had a big phoenix. And tonight is what's your question 117. And the 117 is very special because it's tied to getting spit out of thy mouth. So that's why I had the phoenix for this 117. It would have been a heck of a lot more monumental if I would have shown you the image, but for some reason my computer is not letting me. I don't know why. It's probably the preview. Hang on one second. Let me see if I can't. I don't know why. Okay. Anyways. Parasites. Yeah, we can talk about parasites. Right now, I'm in the middle of doing a 14-day ivermectin protocol. Some people do it 14 days on, 14 days off, 14 days on. Well, I got 14. Every day, 6 milligrams ivermectin. Kind of maintenance. And then the next thing is going to be the black walnut hull, the clove, and the wormwood. If you're a pet owner and you haven't done a cleanse like that, right? And I'm not saying you have to do ivermectin, but the black walnut hull, the cloves, and the wormwood, if you're a pet owner, because the majority of you pet owners have more parasites than most people. Just comes with the territory of having pets. Yeah, man. Danny says, eat more watermelon. Absolutely. Pumpkin seeds are good for parasites as well. Yeah, the pumpkin seeds. Am I going to get any more tattoos? Well, for a while I was good. I wanted to get one right here on my neck. I know a lot of you are like, oh my God, yeah, but if like I'm talking about a fine piece of art, and it would be the face of a jaguar. That's my kind of my spirit animal. It is my heart spirit animal, my totem pole. But I already have kind of the image. It's just finding somebody to do it. That's why I haven't pursued it. Jasmina, who makes ivermectin? Well, it's a pharmaceutical, but it's very, very good for removing parasites. So it's definitely, to me, it's worth it. There are certain pharmaceuticals that are worth taking, and that is one of them, in my opinion. And you don't even need, you can get ivermectin without a prescription, by the way, no matter what state you live in. So if you really want to get that, you can get it. Yeah, the ivermectin you get here in Mexico, it's super cheap. It's like 4 pills are like $5, and they only come 4 to a box. So, I don't know what your name is. It's in China. Is that Chinese characters? I love the Chinese characters. Am I vegan? No, I'm not. I would be called an omnivore. Yeah, ivermectin's been around for a long time. It's not like something new. It's a long time. September Sun says, I don't think we can get Ivor pills in Canada. Yeah, but you can get the liquid animal one, though. Same thing. You can buy injectable ivermectin. I can't tell you what to do with it, but it's the same product. Or a paste. Same product. Just got to find a veterinarian site. On average, Joe, any remark on the movement of frequencies as a healing modality? I haven't played around with that, so I can't speak for myself on that. I don't have any experience with sound frequency and healing, like blasting this and blasting that. It looks amazing, like the whole idea behind it looks amazing, but I haven't played around with it and I haven't seen it firsthand, like in action. So the idea is amazing, to be able to put certain frequencies in the body and to have it completely remove this and that. The idea is amazing, but I have yet seen it working in action. Yep, Sarah White, you can get ivermectin at the feed store. Yep, exactly. Same thing as you'd get anywhere else. Teresa says, I do it for the horse. I give it to the horses. Yeah. You guys are funny. Some of your comments. So someone here, Jasmine, says, I've healed with frequencies. I haven't seen it in action, so I couldn't speak on it. And I don't know. Yeah, hydrochloroquine is another one, yeah. On average, Joe's talking about bloodletting. I used to do that. It's a very good idea to do bloodletting. Because it is like changing the oil. So if you don't want to donate blood, you could just go and take blood out. They'll take a liter of blood. I don't know if it's a liter, but I think it's very healthy to do. Rainbow Warrior says, why do you think doctors don't treat... I don't know if you're asking me this question. Why do you think doctors don't treat patients regularly for parasites? Why do they not ask you if you've had a blood panel done? I mean, that should be standard. What are you eating? How much water do you drink? What does your blood look like? before I diagnose you, before I give you this and this and that. What about hair tissue analysis? I actually almost went into that business and I backed out. There was this machine that I was going to get and it ended up being bullshit. Where you take you pluck your hair, you put it on this little round thing and it scans and it tells you what's in your hair. And it was just, I'm just letting you know the one that I got was not up to snuff. It was garbage. Blood is the way to tell, folks. Blood, you should be considering doing a blood panel every 6 months. Unless you're young and healthy and like you can get away. Like if you're over 40 or 50, blood panel every 6 months. Check everything. The blood is the lifeline. And now you don't even need a doctor. That's the beautiful part about it. This is what you do. I don't know if it'll show this. Here's kind of here's a blood panel, right? Glucose. This is a standard blood panel that you get. Your creatinine levels, your kidneys, all your minerals. And then it will give you ranges. This one has a flag here, but it'll give you references. And then over here it should say high or low. Like that one doesn't show it. See if I can find another one. All you have to do is get your blood panel done and then take a picture of it and plop it into AI. That's all you have to do now. That's what AI is good for, amongst so many other things. You get your blood panel, you go order, you don't even need a doctor. You can order it from, if you're, especially in the US, depending on your country, if you're in the US, you could just go pay for one. They're like $100, $150. And then it will send it to you normally digitally. Yeah, digitally now. And then you just take that PDF, you upload it to AI, and you tell AI everything about what you've been doing. How much water you drink, what kind of foods you eat, give it all, like a lot of you should write down the foods that you have every day. If I could take a look at all of your eating habits for 14 days, I can pretty much tell you. It's a lot you can find in someone's habits for 14 days. So if you take a blood panel and you put it in AI and you tell it, hey, this is how much water I drink, this is the brand of water that I drink, these are the foods that I eat right around this and that, that's how much I have, these are the times I eat it, this is my sleeping regimen, this is what time I get up, this is what time I go to bed. And you ask, and if you have anything out of range, it's very good at determining why it's out of range. It's very good at it. So you don't even need a doctor. That's what's amazing about it now. So the thing about it is, ladies and gentlemen, is you can be the healthiest person in the world, but you may have some deficiencies. Some of you don't have good digestion. So that means that the acid doesn't break the food down. You don't assimilate your food good enough. And when you don't assimilate the foods, you don't receive the minerals and vitamins that your body needs. And you may get away with that over a period of time because the body's really resilient. But if you do that for a long, extended period of time, one day the body's it's kind of like the engine, man. Don't change the oil. Why do you change the oil in your car every 3,000 to 5,000 miles? See, you'll do that, but when's the last time you got a blood panel? Where's your focus? Is your car more important than you? Oh, I know, but I'm fine. I feel your car is fine. Car drives just fine. You just changed the oil. Why are you doing it again? Well, because the mechanic and they told me, if you don't change the oil, man, you're going to run the risk of the engine seizing up. Well, what do you think's the same with your body? If you're not assimilating the food because you got bad, poor digestion, you may have a genetic marker in your body where you just don't absorb this or that. But you won't know it. You may not feel it. So it's the same thing, man. Here I was driving the car along. Everything was cool. And bam, the engine blew up. I thought everything was fine. Felt fine. The car drove fine. Didn't give me any warning signs. There's no engine light. Just blew up. So that's the thing, is a lot of you treat your cars better than you do yourself. Why? Why are you treating your mechanical car better than your body? Because you put a price tag on the car. The car gets you from point A to point B. I say that we take this thing for granted. A lot of you take this thing for granted, this body. Especially when we're younger, we take it for granted. I think we all do that. So Debbie Kennedy has the ivermectin in the paste. Yeah, you can get, so there's the injectable form. There's the bottle of ivermectin in an injectable form. You ever seen vitamin B12 injectable? Right? Well, the ivermectin comes that way. It's like 500 milliliters. Inside of one, I've already priced it out. In one bottle of injectable ivermectin, it's a 1.37% solution or something. So you do like a half a teaspoon, you just drink it, and it gives you about 4 milligrams, something like that. 5 milligrams. You get 100 dosages in there in one bottle. You know what it costs? About 25 bucks. That's what it costs. So you get the liquid. I'll show you. Here it is right here. Look, I'll just take you on the journey. You ready? Here's a website right here. Valley Vet. There it is. It's right here because I was looking at it. Right here. Here it is right there. Ivermectin. Right? It's an injection. It's sterile, but you don't inject it. So you get a syringe. Stick it in the top of there. You draw out a syringe full, and then you just squirt about half a teaspoon, and you just put it in juice or water. It doesn't taste like anything. This is 100 tablets in a bottle. This. Look how much it is. $27. 27 bucks, man, for 50 mLs. 100 doses. This is the value of that. They don't have the paste on here, I don't think. Anyway, it's the same thing. What do you think the active ingredient is in here? Ivermectin. It's approved by the FDA. There's no difference. It's the same thing. They just can charge more for a prescription based because it's pharmaceutical. Yoga is great. Hot yoga is great. Stretching, limberness. Maria says, I eat about one meal a day. That's good. The less you eat, the healthier you're going to be. I know that may sound counterproductive. For me, usually it's one. This is what because a lot of people ask me like what I do. Lately, I've been doing one big meal, and then everything else is all just fruit and small crap. Like so far today, this is my 3rd liter of water. I woke up, pounded my liter of water, and then my very first meal, watermelon with celery and blackberries, blended up in a blender like a puree. The blender was about 3/4 of the way full. That's how much liquid was in there. And then I just had my bag of nuts next to me. Macadamians and pistachios and pecans are what I've been eating lately. And I just eat those and I just drink the juice. And I'm just such a bachelor pad here. I just drink it right out of the blender. I don't even pour it into a glass, right? Why do I eat the nuts with the blender? Because the nuts slow down the digestion. So it doesn't spike my insulin as much. So I have all this citrulline, good for the blood, the watermelon. I have the fiber, the fibrous tissue with the celery, and the blackberries for the antioxidants. And then I have my nuts there as well for fat and filler. Super clean, man. And then about, 2 hours ago, I had 3/4 of a cup. No, I probably had a whole cup of basmati rice, which I don't have all the time, with raw celery, maybe a whole head, chopped up, with some chicken breast that was boiled, with a little bit of seasoning on there and some barbecue sauce. That's it. Clean. And then what I'm going to have after that, probably later tonight, oranges and yogurt and nuts and apples. I got some Cosmic crisp apples with oranges and some nuts with that and a little bit of yogurt, fat-free yogurt. That's what I'm going to have. That's it. Simple. Simple stuff. Not complex, very simple. Someone's asking about, I keep seeing 116. Does it mean starting a family? Well, it could. Because Matthew chapter 1 verses 16 is when Jesus comes on the scene. He's begotten. The first time Jesus is born into the world from Joseph and Mary is Matthew chapter 1 verses 16. So it can definitely mean birth. It's tied to the golden ratio. And it's tied to the lake of fire. It's hydrogen and sulfur. 1 and 16. It's literally what happens when you take water and fire and you put them together. What does it form? What does lava produce? Matter. See, I'm going to go back to the periodic table once again. We're going to go to Matthew 1 verses 16, the very first time Jesus gets pushed out into this world. Here it is. Begot is born. So then you have Jesus born, who is the Messiah, the Christ, the Son, called the Son. This is 1 verses 16. So then we just go to the periodic table. What is the first element? Hydrogen. What's the 16th element? Sulfur. Sulfur is fire. Hydrogen is the sun. Hydrogen produces water. Sulfur and water produce matter. Hence, you have a dude named Jesus being born. Right? Pretty simple. It's all chemistry. The lake of fire. Sulfur. And his crucifixion days in here. Right here. What does that say? You can see it. What is that? Isotope what? 33. 33, man. Fire. You're in the lake of fire, man. Sulfur as in sun. The sun burns, doesn't it? The sun, what's the burning bush? Fire. Sulfur. The burning bush story is from this. It's really easy when you bring chemistry. All you have to do is look at the chemistry. Genesis 3 verses 14. Exodus, I'm sorry. Exodus 3 verses 14. What is it? I am that I am. This is the burning bush. Who shall I say sent me? This is the burning bush. Well, 3 verses 14 is what? Pi. It's lithium and silicon. Right? What is lithium? They give lithium to people that are bipolar. So it's tied to the brain. I think everybody here is a little bipolar. Even you that says, no, I'm not. Yeah, we all are a little bipolar. Multiple personalities. Well, it's 3 verses what? 14, which is what? Silicon. Silicon is the future. And silicon is sand, and sand is the sands of time. 14. Even the 14th book of the Bible is what? What's the 14th book of the Bible? Chronicles. Right there. What is a word for time? Chronos. 14. Chronos. Chronicles. And then you have the sands of time. The sands of time is inside the hourglass. What is sand made of? Silicon. So silicon and lithium is I am that I am. It's you and I. This is the brain, and silicon is the future. And what this is saying is I can be whatever I want. That's what this says. I'm you. You're me. And this is pi. And pi is 314. And the element radium, when you take 88 and 226, get out your calculators, add up 88 and 226, and what are you going to get? 314. That's why the burning bush is tied to the sun, and that's why the sun is tied to Ra, because Ra is the sun god in ancient Egypt, which is thousands of years older than the Torah. Radium. Ra, the sun. I am that I am. I will become what I will become. Hydrogenes, water genes, the sun becoming. Oxygen, the air we breathe, that's Adam. See how it all works? It's all chemistry. We get some Ozempic in the house. Let's take a look at Ozempic. See if we can find some clues with Ozempic. I haven't looked at this. Let's take a peek together, shall we? Let's see what the chemistry says about it. So this is the scientific name. See, maglutide. The molar mass is, wow, that's a big molar mass. Woo, look at that. It's freaking pi, man. The molar mass is pi, 3.141. Yeah, but we're in control of this reality, sure. Who mentioned the Ozempic first? See what I'm saying? You think you're in control? Come on, man. This reality's a funny reality. It's ladies and gentlemen, if you think if you think there still is maybe a slight little chance that we don't live in a scripted reality, go watch my presentation on Nickelback. Have you seen that one? Have you? I don't know if you've seen it. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let me see if I can find it. Hang on. It's called I can't remember what it is. Here, I'll show you another one. Check this one out. It's called, drawing a blank here. There you go. If you guys think that people are in control, okay, I know that some of you desperately, I'm in control of my life, man. You may not. I'm in control. Just you. Just you. Check this out. So if you think that you have control, then how do you explain this? Do you think that these guys are just like, I'm cherry picking these dudes? The great band Styx from their 1977 album called The Grand Illusion. The Grand Illusion. Here are all 5 of their birthdays added up. Tommy Shaw, the great singer. John and Chuck, the brothers. James Young and Dennis DeYoung. 83 is what their birthdays add up to. Remember, I'm talking about the Grand Illusion. Well, ladies and gentlemen, how do you explain this? That when you go into the Sanskrit numerology, their alphabet, in order, Maya is frickin' 83. Matching their birthdays. How do you explain this? See, this is not a chance. I didn't try to fit anything. This is legitimate. Because there is a real alphabet called Sanskrit, and Sanskrit was the origination of the Great Illusion, which is called Maya. So these guys, you would have to say, if you think this is all fabricated, and they selected it, then they would have had to go all the way back to when they first started their band. All 5 of them. Because there's a story about why they got their start. How they all came together as band members. And you see, whoever started the band would have to find people with these birthdays, and they would have to have, before they start the band, they would have to know the numerology of Maya in Sanskrit, because in 1977, we're going to create an album called The Grand Illusion. You'd have to have the foreknowledge of that. And that is absurd. It's absurd to even think that. These guys are living out their fate. And ladies and gentlemen, my final answer for every single one of you, you are a non-player character just like these dudes are. And that is why the forensics show the evidence. Now they created it on, I went on. They created the release of the album on a specific day, on July 7th, 1977, to get the 777, and the numerology matches up. So there are layers in there that you could say, yeah, they did that on purpose. But you see, there's a reason why Maya is the artificial world, which is just the illusion. So my final answer is that we live in a scripted reality, and you and I are non-player characters. You're an actor or actress playing out your role, and that's the role that these guys got. They became musicians. That's the role they got, man. It's just that simple. Unless, of course, somebody here wants to show me another way of why that works out the way it does. And all 1,000 other videos that we've done. Arizona Lane, do you think uncoded chances are sprinkled in reality? No. Everything is accounted for. Everything. Yeah, Mr. C says, Dennis DeYoung says, think about what they're being fed by the... Whatever the reason why, whatever reason Dennis DeYoung, who wrote the lyrics of that song, whatever he is telling you, that's one layer of the onion. But I just showed you the undeniability of the evidence. I don't know any other program online that has the Sanskrit numerology cipher than Dakota. Like, we created that like 2 years ago. I don't even have it up on the public Dakota because I can't create it because I'm not a coder. So I need someone to help me with it. Jasmina says something perfect. It's okay not to be in control. Letting the universe take control. It already is. Yep. Going with the flow is so relieving. That's right. As I often say, you're on the bike and you're pedaling. You just let go of the handlebars. Just keep pedaling. So you move into a state of gratitude. You become a gratitude junkie, as I like to say. You become grateful of the world around you and the people that get involved in your life. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Because the ugly teaches you certain things, right? When things don't go your way, it's a masterful teacher. Because it teaches you not to get emotionally involved with the attachment. It sucks when things don't go the way you want them to. I get that. But it's even better when you don't think it sucks anymore. Just the way it is. There's beauty in getting rid of the emotions attached to disappointment. There's relief in that. So the whole thing about Maya, we can bring it into what's going on the world stage right now, which I know a lot of you are paying attention to for whatever reason. Now, would your life benefit if you didn't watch that at all? If you were able to run two parallel lives side by side, right? If you were to be able to run two lives side by side and look at either one at the same time, life number one, you watch the mainstream and the craziness that's going on the world stage. There's so much stuff going on right now to keep you distracted. It's like at a head right now. We're like it's orgasm central right now. All this coming out and that coming out and disclosure, and then this is going to happen and this is happening over here, and it's like it's orgasm central. Like we are in a 24-hour orgasm right now. There's no shortage of entertainment on the world stage right now. Like it is not a quiet time. So easily when you go to your whatever channel you get your information from or whatever channel you watch to be entertained, you're here on YouTube. I would imagine every single one of you scans through YouTube. And it is just a big distraction that is entertaining. And it's designed to feed off of your energy, scripted or not. So if you're running parallel lives and this life over here is getting emotionally involved with what's going on the world stage, you're living in a life of fear a little bit, you're worried about this, you're worried about that, you know, all this talk about like, you don't think I don't listen to some of this stuff? Of course, because I decode it. But I don't get emotionally involved with it. I take that back. I kind of laugh. I tell myself, I remind myself that it's just a big show. You're watching a big movie, and it's all different movies. You got your movie, I got my movie. Playing inside the big movie, in the big show. The greatest show on earth. And we're now having the greatest show on earth. It's just a multi-orgasm going on. Everything's climaxing right now. So if you ran a parallel life and your life over here, you're literally climaxing with it. You're afraid, you're mad, you're angry, you're pissed off. You're writing to your friends, you're leaving comments about, yeah, they shouldn't be doing this or shouldn't be doing that. I'm pissed off about it. There's that life of you, but then there's the other one who's not paying any attention to that. Which one would you, if you're going to be honest with yourself, which one's going to give you the most peace and bliss? Well, it's the one where you're not engaging. So when you're not engaging, you're free. See, I'm working on a presentation right now. This one right here. It's not. There we go. I'm working on this presentation right here. Again. They live. This was a documentary. Well, you know, I ended up coming up with this idea, distraction. What are the distractions going on in your life right now? Well, see, it's tied to cable 54. This was broadcasting the hypnotic trance to distract you. And it was all about this. These were the messages all around you, and this is what you see all the time when you pay attention to the world around you. You just don't see it like this. Constantly being marketed to buy a new cell phone, to have you upgraded, get a better plan, the next diet fad, buy this product, buy my this, buy that. The idea of this movie was you stay asleep by distraction. You are distracted. And this xenon is tied to the love story, which if you're wondering what this is tied to, it's tied to what you love. Because the word love in numerology, what do you think the word love in numerology is going to equal? 54. So you see, what the distractions are, the things that you love. And you're constantly being bombarded by signs and marketing ploys and conversations of people telling you this and not what not to do. And, oh my God, are you worried that we're going to go to war? Are you worried? What happens about this? And I have, and gas is this, and I don't know, what are we going to do? And all this fear. And it is what it is. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. So there's this distraction going on. And this is tied to the stranger, which is the voice in your head, and it wants everything. So this card is in the True Nature Tarot, and this is card 54 in the True Nature Tarot, and the distraction is this little cloud coming, and it's an opportunity for you to move into this. The idea of this is that this distraction, this is the idea coming into your mind by way of influence through all this marketing. And every time you add something on to your life, every time that you add something on to your life, you get distracted more. That's why the xenon bulb, we're living in a movie. This is what pumps out a movie that you go to the movie theater. If you look and go to the movie and you look up behind you in the wall, there's a light coming. That's produced by a xenon bulb. Some of you have xenon headlights in your car. The distraction is the movie around you, not necessarily some kind of fallen angel. It may be that playing out. There may be entities underground. We've talked about, Jason and I have discussed this. I think that there is. But the distraction comes from the world around you. So the more complex your life is, the easier you can be influenced and consumed. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, the more you detach from this world, which is a tall order, because a lot of you here have children that demand your attention, that want you to buy them things. But the more you are in bed with the world, the more complex your life is. And the more it's going to demand on you, and there's no end to it. That's the thing. There's absolutely, when you start to jump into the game of life, right? And hey, listen, it's a lot of fun. It's exciting. It's invigorating. It can give you some pleasure. But on the other hand, it's also going to give you pain and suffering. So when you put your toe in the water, you're setting yourself up for pain and pleasure together. And that's why everything goes in this reality. So the idea behind they live is that part of it is the controllers, are operating the world around you. And maybe, just maybe, even forget about the controllers, maybe just the divine operating through you. And the divine wants to experience its own creation, and it wants to literally fill its cup up as much as it can. And it's never satisfied. A lot of people living today, they just can't get satisfied. It's never enough. That's why if you've ever done, like I've been addicted to drugs. And if you've ever been addicted to drugs, you know when you're at your apex, when you're in your prime of drug addiction, there's never enough. You want to get high and you chase the high. It's like, oh my God, I want more. Well, I say that's playing out in everybody's life right now. There's something in your life that you always want, you can't get enough of. Like, I want more of it. So every time you add something onto your life, it increases the chances of you being consumed by the complexity of it. So you become a slave to it. That's what it comes with the territory. And I know there are going to be people that will defend the position. Like I just simply state, it's like if you're going to have if you're going to bring a child into this world, you're going to have to suffer with the child, because that is something that comes with the territory. It is mandatory. If the child suffers, you suffer. I don't care. I want to have the kid. Yeah, until something really bad happens, and then you're crying and you lost your shit. So the thing is that where's your thinking? Do you really want to do this? Because like I said, if you bring a child into this world, it's not even maybe, it's a guarantee that you're going to suffer. Because when they suffer, you suffer. When they get sick, you feel like you're sick. That's what comes with. Same with a car. You buy a car, you got to insure it. That's what comes with it. You can't not insure it. So now you got to spend more money, and that stresses some of you out. Some of you are like, I can't even afford my bills right now. So it's stress. It literally makes you decay more because you're freaking out about how you're going to pay this and that. And I know what that feels like. When you move into a space like that, you remove a lot of your creative power, because the majority of your energy is focused on survival and trying to live through this fight or flight. So when I show you the energy of this and what this movie was trying to get across, besides the other aspects of maybe there is some aliens living underground, besides that, the message was that this has got a hold of you, and a lot of you are slaves to it. Right now, what's going on in the world stage, some of you are slaves to it, because you're so worried about what could potentially happen to your survival. So the idea, ladies and gentlemen, is to turn off that stuff, so you are not emotionally swayed by it. And when you go to the gas station tomorrow and gas prices are $1.50 more, don't complain about it. Maybe you need to switch into, hey, I'm grateful that I can still get gas. Instead of like, oh man, this is bullshit. It's $1.50 more. I'm so sick of this crap. How about I can still pay for the gas, so I'm grateful that I can? Which one gives you the better energy? Complaining about it, telling everybody about it, talking to your friends about it, or just saying, you know what, I'm just grateful I can get gas. It's pretty cool that I can get my gas still, even though it's $1.50 more. Or my food's more. This is so stupid. I can't believe these prices. And how much complaining do you do? Are you aware of how much complaining that you do? Maybe the people that are around you are not even aware of it because they complain too much. I don't know. But maybe we need to focus on flipping your complaints into gratitude. Because what's going on in this world right now is only temporary. That's the great news about it. It's not permanent. Maria Nance, have I tried remote viewing? I have not. I haven't. I will say though, if you are somebody who has if Zeus is in your 6th house, I would definitely encourage you to take a class in remote viewing. If you have the planet Zeus in your 6th house of astrology, not tropical, because it's not accurate, true sidereal. If Zeus is in your 6th house or in the sign of Virgo, you should definitely consider doing remote viewing. Why? Because 6 is tied to the 3rd eye. Something to consider. By the way, let's talk about the moon, shall we? I'm going to move to, like today, being March 29th, we have the sun in Pisces right now. And the moon is about ready to go full moon right around there. Right around April 1st. And this is, to me, it's not just one day. It's going to, April 2nd, you'll still have remnants of it. So the 31st of March, the 1st of April, the full moon will be in Virgo. I will encourage you, don't get bamboozled by these people telling you the moon will be in Libra, because that will be absolutely false information. This is astronomy. This is the most accurate layer of the canopy you can get. And if you look up to the sky and you're able to get an image of the moon, or get your telescopes out, you're going to see the moon is full in the sign of Virgo. It may actually, even in tropical, it may be at the tail end, but I think they're going to say it's in Libra. But what is this full moon going to bring? What is a full moon? Like, what does it do? Well, it's about release. Well, it's in Virgo. So it's going to bring a lot of sharp clarity to the daily life of everybody. It's going to bring clarity to your habits. It's going to bring clarity to your routines. It's going to bring clarity to your health, because Virgo is tied to health. It's going to be bringing energy about the small details that you might overlook. So this is a time to really look at, with a microscope, the things that you may be overlooking. Like what's working versus what's not working. What's inefficient in your life. What do you need to clean up? What do you need to simplify? What do you need to refine in your life? That's this. And then emotionally, it can feel like you want to fix or improve everything. But the real power is releasing perfectionism. If you're stacked in Virgo, you're probably a perfectionist. You're in your head a lot. You probably critique the outside world to the highest degree. You're constantly scanning the world around you, trying to figure out what's broken. You don't even tell people. You're that critic inside, and you don't really tell. Some of you may voice it. But the real power of the full moon in Virgo is getting rid of the perfectionism, getting rid of the overthinking things, getting rid of the self-criticism, so you can move forward with practicality. That's what the full moon in Virgo is going to be about. Right now, it's in Leo. There's a lot of energy right now with the moon in Leo, because it's 3/4. So the moon in a fire sign right now, I would imagine there's a lot of pride on the world right now, on the world stage. You could see it, man. You could totally see it. What's going on with the sky. So that's just a little bit about the full moon coming up. Preparing for that. And remembering this year is a 1 cycle. 2 + 2 + 6 is going to give you 10, which is a 1. We are in a 1 cycle. This is the year to drop your seeds. Like I'm wearing the red, right? This color is the color for 2026. You're seeing it, man. War, fire, bombs, missiles, attack. So you're not going to play that part out. No, you guys go do that. You do your dumb shit. Because that's really what it's all about. The United States goes into Venezuela. Why? So we can steal the oil. That's the main reason why. I wouldn't even doubt that the guy, whoever the guy was, Maduro or whatever, I wouldn't even doubt he was in on it. He let it. He's like, we'll just fake the arrest so you can take my oil. Because Venezuela's 17% of the oil, man. Of course, the United States, let's just take their oil. Let's be pirates. Because that's what they are. That's what their role is. No, I don't care. Like, that's your role. You're a pirate. Okay, cool. Attack, man. They're literally playing the card of attack. That's what they're doing. They invaded Venezuela on the 3rd of January, which is the freaking attack card. It's the card for 2026. I mean, they're playing it by it to a T right now. Attack. That's what this year is all about. Attack. And then for some of you, it will be love. Let me show you what this looks like. From a agitated perspective to a ambient, blissful energy, which one do you want to play out? Oh, I can't find it. Hang on one second. Let me show you the two energies at play. And there's more than this. There it is. 2026. This is January 3rd, when the United States invaded Venezuela. That's what they did to take their oil. The pirates that they are. This is the card for 2026 on the Gregorian calendar. Attack. 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 And then that's the agitation. That's the war energy. But then you have the true nature. And it's this. Peace. I'm looking for love, man. Equality. Everybody love everybody. Ambience. Calmness. Still water. Beauty. Non-agitation. These two jacks, look at the difference. One wants to go to war or is in war. The other one just wants to get the cup filled. Which one looks more peaceful to you? Well, I know the one on the right is more peaceful. But for some of you, you may be addicted to this. Some of you, if you're being honest with yourself, you're addicted to chaos. It's part of your script. And if you don't like that part, and you're like, yeah, but I want to make the change, you can't wake up and do the same thing tomorrow as you did yesterday and have the change come into play, if that's part of your script. So, for me, personally, people are like, no agitation. And how do I get no agitation? I don't engage. How do I not have drama in my life? I don't enter into drama scenarios. Right? How do you not have drama in your life? Don't enter the arena of drama. So if you live in an area that is surrounded by chaos, if you live in a city that's surrounded by chaos, I lived in Las Vegas for almost 2 years. This constant, LA, I lived in LA, constant police sirens and noises and helicopters. And then here I am in this little bubble. Not going to engage. But some of you are really addicted to engagement with the chaos. Like you like it. And that's the thing is that if there was, like people say, the trick the devil pulled, yeah, it's called boredom. Like I said earlier, I showed you this energy right here. This. This can be your enemy because it's distraction. Right? You have all these, I've done this, I've done that. And now you have this standoff energy. And it's the Four of Cups, so it's the heart and the stable one. If you take this cup, it comes with circumstances. It comes with consequences. Right? These are the ideas coming into your mind. And this is what makes life a massive paradox. Because that Four of Cups, that person sitting there like this, that can be you. If I take you and I put you in a cabin somewhere in the woods and you're all by yourself, some of you would lose your shit. Because you are wired to have chaos and stimulation. You need it. You need it, right? It may be part of your code. So everything that I'm saying here about what I see, I'm saying it for me and then for anybody else that resonates with it. It's not cookie cutter. This channel is not designed to save you. It's not designed to give you suggestions that are absolute. I don't have all the answers. I don't have all the solutions for you. I just don't. What I have for you is what I would do, what I see. And it may not be what you would do and what you see. So I don't claim superiority over you or anybody at all. As a matter of fact, you are superior over me. You are the most important person living today. Can you handle that? Can you actually accept that role? That you are the most important person living in this world? I know a lot of you, you're not going to accept that. You're going to be like, because you know why? What you instantly do with that, you compare your life with the world around you. I know, but I don't have that. And they got this. And it's usually something physical that you don't have that they have that makes you less than what they are. That's normally how we're wired. If somebody has more money than you, you have less, you don't have that status. And then you look at that like, I want that because I see what they have, but you don't see what the problems that they have by having that. You don't see the pain that they have by having all those things. It has a lot to do with what season you're living in right now, folks. I'm telling you. What I mean by that is spring, summer, fall, and winter. What season are you living in right now of your life? To give you an idea, from 0 to 20, springtime. From 21 to 40, summertime. From 41 to 60, autumn, fall time. And 61 to 80, wintertime. These are averages. You may live far beyond that and you would have to adjust the seasons. But it's just so prevalent and so easy to see. What season are you living in right now? And then you take your astrology and your numerology and your totem pole and your cosmic human design, your astro-alchemical codes and your tarot and your cards and everything that we teach here at Decode Your Reality and the Spotlight, and you take that system and you look at what season you're in, and it's different than when you were 20 years younger, and how those layers of the onion are playing out for you now versus what they were playing out for you back 20 years ago. Think about when you were if you're in your fall, like I'm in my fall, I'm 53, right? I'm in my fall season. What do we do during the fall season? What do human beings do when autumn comes into play? We start to collect, prepare. Because when you move into winter, the food sources are not going to be as prevalent. So we have to store up to get through the winter. So when you correlate that to living out life, what would you do in the fall time? This is when you start to get serious about your money. Got to have my 401ks. Got to have my savings. Got to be diversified. Got to have a little bit of this in case a little bit of that goes to the wayside. Because when you hit your wintertime, you don't have the ability, the majority of people, they don't have the mindset, the ability, the physical athleticism to go to work like somebody in their 25 or 30 range, where you feel like you can get up and doesn't hurt, nothing's stiff. You can do physical labor. When you're in your winter stage, man, that is a stage similar to when you're in your springtime. Where in the wintertime, you're retired, you want to relax, enjoy, think about, focus on, higher mind, detachment, because you're preparing to die in that stage. One part of it. Some of you are in your summertime right now. Summertime's a lot of fun, man. I had the most fun in my life in my summer. I squeezed every drop of summertime. Oh boy, did I. I lived the life of an agent, if there ever was such a thing. I was getting a lot of people. When I say agent, I mean, what is Agent Smith in the Matrix? What is his job? To market to you, so to keep you busy and distracted, so you don't pay attention to the world around you. Well, I did a lot of marketing, like an agent when I was in my summertime. Come on, let's go hang out. Let's go party. Let's go to this booze cruise. Let's go vacation. Let's go to Vegas. I mean, man, it was a couple of years of my life. It was Vegas every weekend, it seemed like. Doing crazy things. Summertime. You're in your pinnacle, your apex. You want to have fun. Take your clothes off. Get exciting. Get excited about life. Worry about it next week. And then you go all the way back to when you were a child, springtime, right? You're trying to figure it out. The seed is coming through the soil. It's struggling. It needs the sun. Then maybe the springtime, the sun is sporadic. It's not like the fall. Springtime is very sporadic in a lot of parts of the world. It gets cold. It gets hot. Goes back to winter, it feels like. Sometimes it gets really too hot. So springtime can be really kind of finicky about what the weather's going to be like. In our springtime, you can't make up your mind. You're up and down because you're immature. You're uneducated in the springtime. You think you know it all. Like I left when I was 15. Or 16, I think it was. I left home. Went to go live at my buddy's house because I had it all figured out. If I were to go back in that same position as a person I am right now, I wouldn't make the same decisions. Because I'm the wisest version of myself right now, just like you are the most wisest version of yourself right now. There isn't another version of you that's smarter than you right now, this version of you right now on March 29th, 2026. You are the smartest, most educated version of yourself right now. If you compare yourself to last year, 5 years ago, right now you are the wisest of them all. So these seasons that you can play out in your life, spring, summer, fall, winter, and where you're at, has a lot of value. And then you take your esoteric, astrology, numerology, tarot, totem pole, human design, and you bring these into, and you look at the definitions, the raw definitions of who you are, what your likes and dislikes are, what your shadow side is, what your blind spots are. And then you can look at it from a perspective of studying anybody that, like if you're in a partnership right now, do you really know your partner? Once you start to study their code, then you really get to know them. So it's pretty amazing when you start to look at, and I got started on this because this year is a one cycle. So you could say this is springtime right here. We're in springtime for the northern hemisphere. If you live in Cape Town, South Africa, or if you're in New Zealand right now, or the great country of Australia, you're in your fall season. It's different. Why would you follow springtime? You're not. You're not dressing like it's springtime. Maybe some places are. I'm merely going on the 4 seasons now. So it depends on where you live. That will dictate how you should be playing this thing out. But everybody is 2026 for the Gregorian calendar, and that's a 1 cycle. So this year is a cycle about planting seeds, fire, ignition, and making plans for change. That's what this year's all about. And it was just so crazy because this idea room that I had, that I brought out, this is the perfect time to bring it out. Because we're in a 1 cycle. And that's what ideas are. Ideas are built in around they can come out any cycle, because they do. But if you had to pinpoint it into a cycle, 1 cycle is ideas. Christy Belly says March begins, sunrise is Aries. Well, it's actually in Virgo now. The spring equinox is Virgo. Pisces, excuse me. Pisces. 10 degrees Pisces. The spring equinox on March 20th, the sun's in Pisces. It's not in Aries. Tropically, the seasons, it's Aries season, yes. But constellation-wise, it's Pisces. So fire Pisces is fire water is what the spring equinox is now. It's not fire anymore. It's fire water. Bobby says, my summertime was good old ecstasy. Best times of my life would involve drugs, man. Just being honest. No shame in that either. It's a turbocharger. I look at drugs like a turbocharger on a car. And if you've never driven a car with turbo, you wouldn't really know. But if you put a turbocharger on your car, if you drive a car naturally aspirated, right? Which means it's just the engine. And you put a turbocharger or a supercharger on it, that's like taking drugs. That's kind of how I see it. No regrets, Bobby. You know how it is, man. The best times of my life. Some of the memories I have are a lot of Vegas, LA, a lot of Vegas, like 1999, 2000. We're talking about when ecstasy was still in pill form and there was no other drugs in those pills. If you took a Ferrari or a double stack or whatever, it was just MDMA in there. There was no fillers or other drugs in there. So it was really the beginning of the ecstasy at 98, 99. And I was fortunate enough to be in that zone, man. And this is when Vegas was, the after hours. It was Spearmint Rhino, a strip club. And then there was the Galaxy Club, and there was fire breathing people on the strip. It was just unbelievable. And then you had babies in the Hard Rock. Guys would just take their shirts off. That was allowed. Everybody was on ecstasy. It was just an amazing time in my life, man. No regrets. Yeah, Mitsubishis. They were the red. I remember those were the red ones. Yeah. White Doves. Yeah, there you go. Look at that, man. We got some ecstasy fans in the house. Change is coming now. Now, see, this is the perfect example of a drug culture such as MDMA. I mean, now you have the, people get the capsules but it's all synthetically made. That's all synthetic anyway. But the thing is that when the ecstasy scene came on, especially in Vegas and LA in 98, 99, like I said, I was fortunate to be there. And that was kind of, you would say the climax. Because it was all pure. It was the majority of it was. And then what happens over time, you chase the dragon and then supplies run out and now things get altered and changed, and then they start adding in other ingredients to the cocktail, and now the whole entire, feeling of it goes in a different direction. Changes and alters. Same with the situation going on in the streets. All the people that are dying from the heroin. The heroin goes to fentanyl. Fentanyl goes to the horse tranquilizer they're putting in there. And now people are having rotting skin and the real zombies are happening. This is what happens. You go from a culture that just does straight heroin, which is bad enough, but they don't have flesh being eaten away, right? So it just goes from one extreme and then it just gets magnified. You literally have a supercharger on top of heroin, which is the fentanyl. And now it's 50 times stronger. So now you have all this craziness going on. Love Buzz says, either you live within the ego or you live above your ego. So this is a very interesting topic of conversation. I get what you're saying. But the ego is what you make your decisions around. The ego is your desire. So if you desire to be a monk, that's your ego that's making that decision, which is not your decision, it's your script. So does the spirit, because if you're talking about ego and not operating from that position, then you're talking about the alternate, which I would assume you're saying the spirit. Okay, does the spirit have an ego? It would have to. Because if you end up choosing spirit, that's desire. And then what involves when you choose the spirit? Do you just do nothing? No, you do something else. So I don't think the ego is essentially void when it comes to spirit. Because the spirit, people say, I'm spiritual. I'm eating this kind of lifestyle. I'm eating a healthier lifestyle. Well, isn't that what you desire? Yeah, I desire that. Well, that's your ego then. Your ego is what makes you desire things. So this is why I contemplate the spirit having an ego. The spirit of the ego, or the ego of the spirit. And I'm just going to make a better, healthier choices. I'm going to drink more water, and that's what you desire, though. Yeah, I desire to be healthier. Well, that's the ego that desires that. Because a lot of people, they desire to live a healthier lifestyle because they really, the undermining of it is they don't want to die. They're trying to escape death or mitigate the decay of what you're going to move towards inevitably. So personally for me, I don't see the ego being something that is below or beneath. I think the ego is just what you desire. And the spirit inside of you has to have an ego. Because the spirit desires something as well, if you want to separate the two into different compartments. I think the ego gets a bad rap. For a lot of people. They give it a bad rap. I don't know why. Look at all you ecstasy fans, man. Triple Stack, Studio 54, Blue Ladies. That's great. Red turbos. That's awesome. Times in my life, man. 99, 2000, 2001. Man. And then I just drifted off, got married, and then kind of called that quits. And went into that lifestyle and got into the health and wellness industry after that, and started getting into bodybuilding, and then went right back to the party scene again in 2009, 2010, when I was in my prime in bodybuilding, and that was another fun cycle of life. Crazy, man. Have I listened to Chronicles podcast? I don't know who that is, Mark. Chronicles podcast? I don't know who that is. So I can't say that I have. But even Vegas now is not the same. I haven't been in quite some time, but ever since the Formula One came in, it's all catered to the wealthy. So now it's just changing, and the prices are, of course, inflation hit Vegas, and now it's insane. Insane. Remember, Vegas has to import all of its food. They don't grow anything. It's in the desert. They rely on trucking industry like so many cities do. All right, so we're going to wind down here. I think we're going to kind of get close to wrapping this one up here. So I want to one last time. There's a lot of new people here, and I just want to show you a few things in case you might have missed them in the beginning. First and foremost, we created a couple. I'm officially in the music business now, if you want to call it that, whatever. I have 2 channels. This is my heavy metal rock music, and this is my kind of electronic house / synthwave kind of music. I think the tracks are really good, but of course I'm being a little biased. So if you want to check these out, I'll leave these. If you want to check these out, you can just email me because I know they're going to disappear. And I'll play a song at the end so you can listen to it at the end here. But what I want to talk about is this right here. And this is something that I created maybe a month ago. And the idea behind this is going to hear me say a lot of this idea. The idea behind the idea room is a lot of you have great ideas, but you don't have enough support. You don't have maybe money, resources, whatever to make your idea come to fruition. So this is my humanitarian. I don't know if this is going to gain any traction. I don't have any expectations, but this is kind of more of the humanitarian approach that we're looking to do to help people out. And this is where the crowd gets involved. So this is going to move into a 3-stage process. The first stage is to pitch your idea to me. And I don't want to know about your idea, really. I just need to know kind of an example of what it is and what industry it's going to touch into. And you just submit it here. Okay? That's kind of the first step. And we're gonna do a very fair way to make this work. Okay? We're gonna pick 10 people to pitch your idea live. And we're gonna do it on my Cosmic Sugar YouTube channel. This one will be exclusively for that and, you know, everything health and wellness and self-improvement. But we're gonna give people the opportunity to pitch their ideas. You get 5 minutes to pitch your idea. So if you have a great idea, if you have $1 million idea, well, this is your chance. A lot of you have great ideas and you're never gonna do anything with them. You're gonna take them to the grave and no one's gonna benefit from it. So how it works is you're gonna submit just a brief overview. Like you could just say, hey, my idea is a real-time marketplace connecting farmers to restaurants, and the industry is food and agriculture. That's what you would put here. Name. You don't even have to use your real name if you want to be incognito. That's totally fine. But you need to have a working email because I'm going to respond back to you with a number. Now, this is going to be limited to the first 50 people. I don't know if we're even going to get that many. May not even get 10 entries. But the first session, the first lottery is going to be live. So once you submit your idea, if you're one of the first 50, I'm going to send you a number back via email, and I'm going to do a live lottery pull of numbers. And the first 10 people that we pull, the numbers, are going to be selected. That's it. I have 100 flashcards with numbers on it. The first 10 people that have a number assigned to them, they will have a chance to move into this right here. This is going to be on April 19th. April 12th, which is 2 weeks from now, is where I'm going to do the live poll for numbers. So anybody that submits their idea here, you're going to get assigned a number. If you make the first 50, maybe there'll be 100 people. I don't know. Maybe they won't be. So you don't have to worry about that. So you submit your idea here on the Spotlight website under the idea room here. You got to do it within the next 10 days because then we're going to do a lottery and we're going to pull numbers. And if your number gets pulled, you're going to get invited to the following Sunday, April 19th. Everything is on Central Standard Time, and the times are already listed in here. So this is the very first one, and you're going to have 5 minutes to present your idea to the world. And there will be hopefully a crowd, there will be a lot of people listening. The idea is to get people to collaborate to make this idea come to fruition. Now, all 10 people get to pitch their idea, and then it's going to go on this website, and there will be a voting system. I don't have it up yet, but there will be, you'll click on it, and there will be somewhere in here where you can vote on all 10 ideas. You get to only vote one time. And then after 2 weeks, we're going to pick the winning idea right here. On the 26th of April, the very first time, we're going to pick a winner. And the winner's going to be chosen by way of all of you. So the idea behind this is like American Idol. Remember that show? Where, oh my God, text this number to pick who you want to see win. Well, the idea is the same here. Is that you get to go on the Spotlight website and there will be 10 participants with their ideas. They've already pitched their ideas for 5 minutes on the live on the 12th of April. So there's going to be a 2-week pattern, a 2-week span of people going and watching the videos and listening to, and it's only 5 minutes, 10 people, that's 50 minutes. So less than an hour and you'll have 10 ideas listed for you, and you get to pick whichever one you think has got the most potential, or you like the idea the best because of whatever. I would hope because it has the most potential. Maybe you're just like the idea because maybe it was something close to what your idea was. But the idea behind this, folks, is to find people that can make this idea move to fruition. So I don't know what's going to happen on the April 26th when we announce the winner of all the people that got involved with the voting, whichever one comes to the front. I don't know what's going to happen, but there has to be a collaboration. Some of you have ideas that are going to create jobs. You realize that? Because as it says right here on the website, is that this can create builders. See, if you have the idea, you're the originator. But then you're going to need people to build it. You're going to need operators to run it. You're going to need people to fund it. So we could easily take this idea and crowdfund it. We don't even need to find somebody that has a lot of money. If the idea is that good and we can get some traction going with this, we can crowdfund the entire project and we can find people, attract people that will make this idea come to fruition. Now, again, I know some of you, and I haven't figured it all out yet. How can I protect? And I get all that kind of stuff. So there has to be some kind of contract, and I have to figure that out for protection to some degree. But this is putting it out there. This is like, I'm not locking my doors anymore. There's got to be some trust. There's some letting go. And remember, folks, these ideas that you have, you may go to the grave with them. Had we not built this idea room, and if you think this is cool and you think this could be something for you, this may be something to get your idea, and you get to sit back and say, that was my idea. You could become famous because of this platform. You could become wealthy because of this platform. This platform could put your kids through college if that's what you desire to do, because you will be supplied enough money. This idea could support charities. I don't know what it's going to do. I haven't forecasted that far. This idea I could hand it off to somebody that wants to run the idea room. The goal is to move it into like what a Shark Tank is about. It's kind of a little bit about that, but it's not asking Mark Cuban for millions of dollars. Maybe it could get to that level where you could bring a set of investors in there and everybody already voted. There's hundreds of thousands of people that have voted. They've picked this one as the winner. This is the winner. This is the winning idea. And now maybe there's 4 different funders and they want to back it and they want to spend the money on this. And maybe they already have a team in place that can build it. I don't know. Maybe you have an idea for an app, but you don't have the coding. You're not a coder. Right? So I don't know where this is going to go, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know, but this is the idea room. And maybe it'll do nothing. It's okay. It's all good. But maybe it'll be something. And it will change lives and it will create jobs and it will it'll make people better, stronger, and more possibilities will come out of it. So this is my way of giving back as a humanitarian, is just another layer of it. I do the pro bono. We already filled that one. That one already sold out within minutes. So that one's already scheduled in. I got to do more of these. There's only one of me though, right? But we have the pro bono of giving back, doing esoteric consultations, and now this idea room. We have the Spotlight course. We have the Patreon. Some of these things, yeah, you have to spend a little bit of money. But then there's the free stuff that we give away. We got free books. If you haven't been on the Spotlight website, by the way, just so you know, we have a section where it says books. And this was the first book that we wrote. It comes free with the course, the Spotlight course. You get this book and you get the Capital Stars book. But then we also have a free book right here, Alchemical Cities. It's free to download. And then I have the follow-up called Alchemical Theology. I'm working on this one. But this one's free. It's PDF. They're all PDFs. They're all digital. This is based upon where your location is, where you were born, and alchemy. So this is groundbreaking material. As far as I know, no one's ever brought this out onto the world stage. And again, I want to be very clear. It's not me doing this, so I take no credit for it. So you can go on here and get that free book. And I'm not gonna sell you on all this kind of stuff, man. It sells itself. Right? I talk about it, I mention it. I think everybody would benefit from decoding themselves and decoding your partner and your children, but that's about as far as it goes. I have a passion for this. I have a love for this. But now it's time to spread our wings and go deeper and bigger. And that's the idea room is really where I hope we can spread our wings, because it's going to involve some trust. Getting away from this trademark copyright crap, although I know some of you are going to want to do that, but just moving into authenticity and trust and belief and knowing. All right. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap this one up. Pull some tarot cards and call it a night. I'm going to do something I normally don't do. I'm going to start with a flashcard since we're pulling numbers. I got this. This is what I'm going to use for the idea room. So if you submit an idea, and again, I'm not asking you to just give it away, just the basic, without telling me too much. I ain't going to do anything with it. But I'm going to email you back with a number. I'm going to assign you a number. It's going to be inside this deck of cards. There's 100 in here. The first 50 entries, that's the cutoff point. So if we get a surge of people, if you have an idea and there's over 50 people, if you're 51, you're going to get put into idea room number 2. Anyway, I'm going to just pull a number here. We normally never start off with this, but let's pull a number here. Let's see, without looking, what number is this? 3. 3 is a number of creation, communication, artistry, thinking, clarity. It's a sign of Gemini, a number of Gemini. Gemini is the 3rd house. This is the 3. Mercury, thinking. So maybe 3 is important to you. If you have anything in the 3rd house, if your life path is a 3, this may be more important for you. If you're born on the 3rd, this may be more important to you. So let's pull some tarot, and then we're going to wrap this up. All right, if you've never watched me pull tarot cards, I normally do 3. That's been my standard, and I just run my fingernail over this right here. Slide my finger in and see what it is. That's what we do. So we don't manipulate the cards. And then we do our best to interpret them. So before I pull any cards, I want to just let you know that the question that we're going to ask collectively, and maybe from a singularity perspective, is what is the most important thing that you can focus on in your life right now? What is the most important thing for you personally to focus on in your life right now? Now, we already pulled the 3. So there could be a layer of maybe you need to communicate more. Maybe you need to use your creativity more. And maybe that's going to have you stop being distracted. All right, let's get the first card. First card is walking away from something. 5 of Swords. Instantly and automatically with the 5 of Swords, the energy is walking away. But the 5 of Swords is much more than just walking away, because it's the 5 of Spades. And the 5 of Spades is the energy of manifestation through the spirituality. So it could mean walking away from something that is not allowing your spirituality to grow. And when I say spirituality, the definition of that has to be from you. I don't know what the definition of spirituality means to you. And I would imagine it's going to be different if I compare mine to yours. Okay? So the next card we have, what is this one? The card of boredom. It came out in the reverse, so I'll read it both ways. 4 cups, this way, is a card of I have enough. I have enough. I have 3 cups in front of me. I don't need anything else. I don't need any more distractions in my life. I have all that I need in my life. Well, I'm going to read it this way because it came out this way. Maybe you don't have enough. Maybe you're being a Grinch. Maybe you're being too structured in your life. Let's see what the third card is to maybe bring this home. Third card. The 8 of Wands. It came out reversed, so I'll read it this way. This is a lack of movement. This is movement, a lack of movement. So we have a lack of movement or movement. So again, I don't say, hey, you know what? I'm going to pull this and reverse it because I don't have a set way of doing this. So I read it from both ways. So for some of you, you could have a lack of motivation. Some of you need to get motivated. If I bring the 4 cups in here and we have them both like this, there's a lack of motivation completely. If I leave them like this, there could be a message coming into your life. There could be a text message. There could be an email. There could be an opportunity coming into your life that's going to maximize that cup coming towards you. Some of you may have to walk away from something. This does involve spirituality, right? Because the 5 of Swords, the swords are spades, and the spade is I am. It's spirituality. So it could involve your spirituality, that you need to walk away from something in order or replace something that is no longer serving your higher self, your higher good. I'm going to pull an astro card, and we're going to see if we can't get a house or a astrology sign, or a celestial. Let's see. What's this? Pisces. So definitely, when I think of Pisces, I think of spirituality. I think of, artistry, water, illusory. But I think of artistry. I think of I think of church. I think spirituality. I think of your shadow self. So the way I'm reading this with all 3 of these cards, maybe you read them differently. There's a walking away. I get them backwards. There's a walking away. There's an opportunity, and then there's movement behind that. For some of you, there's not enough room in your life for the opportunity to come in. Some of you don't want the opportunity. You're like this. You're literally like that. Some of you, there's a distraction coming into your life, and you have to say no. I'm straight off the bat, ladies and gentlemen. Some of you have to say no to some kind of distraction coming in, and the distraction is designed to take away from your spirituality, your oneness. If you have any energy in Pisces, the sun is in Pisces right now. The sun on March 20, right now the sun is in the sign of Pisces. It is not in Aries. Just so you know, it's not there. It's in Pisces. So for some of you, it's walking away. And there may be a new opportunity. Maybe there's a new opportunity coming in. And what I'm saying is like, this is like movement. Now we had it like that. So maybe there's a staleness in your life because you're holding on to something too much. You need to walk away to create space to open you up for this new opportunity to come into your life. Okay? So for some of you, most definitely, there is no room in your life. You're chock full. Your spirituality has taken a beating because your life is complicated. There's something you have to walk away from. You need to say no to. I mean, this card, by the way, is the card of exorcism. It's card number 30. The word exorcism in Chaldean numerology is 30. So there's something you have to get rid of that's attached to you. I'm not saying you have an entity attached to you. It's not what I mean. I'm just saying there's an idea that you've adopted as a truth that is holding you back from your higher self. And it is scripted. So if you resonate with this message, then you move into form because you were supposed to. For other people, it's shedding skin. For some of you, it's saying no to lighten your load. Some of you have too complex of a life right now. There's no room to make any changes in your life because you are just completely chock full from start to finish of your day. And you feel suffocated. So in order to get rid of the suffocation, you need to have a mental exorcism. I mean, you literally have these two cards. One of them, the Five of Swords, is walking away. And then the Eight of Wands is like there's a lot of movement. So some of you here just need to say no. You need to make changes in your life. And that's going to open you up for possibilities and new opportunities. Some of you can't have the new opportunities coming in because your life is just you have too much of what you got. I think Bob Proctor said, I think he even said it from Bruce Lee. I think he says, I can't give you what I got because you got too much of what you got. There's no room for anything that I want to give you because you got too much of what you have. So there has to be some kind of change in your life. And that's what the Pisces energy is all about. That's your inner church. That's your inner salvation. Personally, the kingdom of God is within you. So when you go within, especially right now, it's very fitting because we pulled the Pisces card and March 29th, the sun is in Pisces. Today is day number 88 and 89. This is the raw day right here. And the sun's in Pisces. So what is it that you can get rid of that's holding you back for some of you? And we pulled the 3 here, and the 3 is creativity. So is this removal, or are these things that you're going to stop saying yes to and walking away from? Is that going to open up your creativity? Because 3 is the number of creativity. Just maybe for some of you, it will. All right. So that's what I got for all of you. And I hope that helped out. I'm going to let you guys and gals talk amongst yourselves. This is another song that I created. This one's called Just a Little Longer. This is kind of like a melodic house progressive song. It's pretty awesome. It's called Just a Little Longer. And this is off of the Neon Soap Opera YouTube channel. I'll leave these in the description of this What's Your Question 117. It's been an honor and a pleasure to serve you here tonight. I hope you submit your idea. Big shout out to Pamela, number 5. Thanks for showing up. Sending you guys tons of love from the Caribbean here in Mexico. My name is Logan. Till next time, we will see you later.
If we stay, maybe it won't break through. Before it all fades out, before it all shifts away, I just wanna stay inside this moment forever. How long will you let me stay? I feel that it won't last days and space. Still, I wanna stretch this feeling out a little longer, just a little longer. You pull me in close, but it feels like worlds apart, like something in between us is just going back to the start. Don't speak, not yet. If we name it, we might lose what's left before it fades out, before it shifts away. I just wanna stay inside this moment a little longer. How long will you let me stay? Soon it won't last, we're spinning in space. Still, I wanna stretch this feeling out a little longer, just a little longer. Just tell us more, and move without us. If it's ending, don't tell me when. We're right here, somewhere in between what it was, what it's gonna be.